In this video, I'll be ranking my top 5 running backs in this year's NFL Draft. Let's go ahead and get into it. Before we start talking about our first play here, if you like the content of the NFL Draft and the NFL in general, go ahead and subscribe and hit the like. I drop weekly videos just like this in daily YouTube shorts. Let's go ahead and talk about Israel Abanikanda from Pittsburgh. He's my number 5 running back in this year's draft. Let me go ahead and read off his stats last year. He had 1,400 yards. He had 20 touchdowns, which was tied for first in the nation last year. And then he averaged 6 yards per carry, and absolutely a great running back. Obviously, let's go through his strengths really quick. Home run hitter. There's many times where he's able to take it to the house, 50 plus yards, 40 plus yards, and it's absolutely insane. I'm a Virginia Tech fan, so I kind of have PTSD from this because he absolutely destroyed us when we last played. So he's a dude who can absolutely take any carry to the house when given an opportunity. And then also his balance, again, one of the big reasons why he's able to, because he's hard to bring down. You're going to have to use more than just one person to bring him down because he can bounce off hits very, very well. Let's go ahead and talk about some of the concerns, the weaknesses. No receiving production. I would like to see him be used just a tad bit. You don't need to be insanely used as a receiving back, but I would just like to see a little bit more because I know he didn't have the best of hands, and obviously he's just going to be going out in the backfield, but I just wish there was a little bit more receiving production from him. And then his elusiveness. He's not going to juke past people. He's not going to do some crazy spin move most of the time. Again, balance. He's going to go ahead and go through you or go past you if you cannot tackle him. And that's fine and all, but that just makes him a little bit one trick, just one trick, and that's kind of going through you, or you got to bring him down. So I'd like to see maybe a little bit more of that, but that's not necessarily, that's not his game. So that's why he's at 5, and let's go ahead and go into running back number 4 on my rankings. Taj Spears is my running back 4 out of Tulane. Let me go ahead and read off some of his stats. 1,500 rushing yards this past season, 19 touchdowns, tied for 3rd in the nation this past year. So it's just 2 back-to-back guys who have scored a lot. And let's go ahead and talk about Taj Spears' strength. Elusiveness is probably the biggest thing. He's very elusive when it comes to all these things, like just breaking tackles or, a little shifty, change of direction. Balance, for how small he stays pretty up. He stays up a lot, which is very surprising because you'd think maybe you'd be a little easier to bring down, but he's absolutely not. And then his play in space. If he's catching the ball, he can make people miss. If it's just him versus a cornerback, another defender, say your prayers to that other defender because he will make him miss, and he will go ahead and get those extra 5, 10, 20 yards and on possibly to his way to the end zone. So Taj Spears is an absolutely dynamic running back playmaker. Some of the weaknesses, obviously his smaller size. He's a smaller running back in this class, and I would like to see him with a bigger receiving production. It's kind of same thing with Izzy. But this one I feel like is more justified because he is a smaller back. He's a guy who's very elusive and should try to get the ball in his hands at all time, so he can do some things in space. I would like to see more catches out the backfield. I love a wheel route here and there, a little Texas route. But overall, I'd just like to see maybe a little bigger receiving production, and the smaller size in general, knocks some running backs down a little bit. So let's go ahead and the number 3, and that's Zach Charbonnet. I got his stats right here. 1,300 yards rushing, and then 14 touchdowns and 7 yards per carry this past season. Heck of a season stats-wise. So let's go ahead and talk about why I like him as my running back 3. First of all, his stature. I like his stature. I value it, I guess. It kind of reminds me of Nick Chubb's, how he kind of looks. And then his vision. I really like his vision, running through holes a little bit. It's somewhat eerie. I like it, but then it can be pretty bad at times, but it can be really good at times, and I didn't know where to put it, so I put it in the strengths. We'll talk about that later with on one of my weaknesses. And then balance and nimbleness. I think for his type of physique and size, I think the way he can keep himself up, but also make some quick cuts with his feet, some footwork, I think is very impressive. Now let's go to some of the weaknesses, the things he struggles with. Long speed, he's not going to outrun too many, DBs if he gets past the offensive line. So usually he's not going to break out some very long touchdowns. And then commitment to the run. I probably worded this wrong. I maybe said run commitment. I don't know, but just at times, if there's a hole, he just has to hit it. There's time he kind of jumps a little bit too much behind the line of scrimmage, and sometimes when he's kind of in that, he's like 3 yards past the line of scrimmage, and there's offensive linemen flying everywhere. There's a linebacker here, and there's a linebacker about to be blocked, and he's just kind of, jumping around, maybe a little bit too patient, and sometimes he just needs to hit the hole. He just needs to go forward and use his size and his power to go ahead and, run some guy over or just get past everybody. If he got to knock down 2 offensive linemen, so be it. Go ahead and get the yards. And sometimes he struggles to do that. And I think that's, one of the weaknesses there. But overall, I think he's running back 3, and I would be happy with him on my team. And I think if he's like that number, running back 2 to maybe another, maybe finesse receiving back type of running back in the league, I think he can be very, very effective. So let's go ahead and get to running back number 2. Jamir Gibbs. Let's look at the stats. 926 yards and 7 touchdowns. So not as much as we obviously saw with the other 3 guys. But let me actually look at his receiving yards, because, again, he was used in as a receiving back as well. So he had 444 yards as a receiving back with receptions, and then 3 touchdowns. So kind of split. He definitely was used as a receiving back a little bit more than probably the other 3 guys. So let's go ahead and talk about the strengths. His elusiveness, he's very athletic, and he's, again, a very good pass catcher, a pass catching back. Kind of just, that smaller back. I believe he's like 5'9", and he can kind of just do everything a 5'9" guy should be able to do. He's able to sneak past guys, juke around guys, spin move, and then obviously in general he's just very, very athletic. I believe he ran like a 4.3 something at the combine, and then again they use him a lot as a pass catcher, as a receiving back, which obviously really helps him, and probably in the NFL. Some of the weaknesses, again, smaller size. I believe he's around 5'9". So kind of bumps him down, but I don't think he was ever going to be that one spot with who we have in this draft class. But then pass blocking, I would like to see him maybe a little bit more better as a pass blocker. You're usually not going to have him on passing downs if he is not the one, if he's not running a route. That's usually what's not going to happen. So we'll see. Maybe that kind of indicates at times if a team is scouting, obviously, and you're putting him in and he is never pass blocking, they're going to see, he's on the field, he's running a route, he's doing something. So I think I would like to see him get better at that, which obviously he very well can. That's not a thing that kind of is going to stay with you for your whole career. You're definitely going to get taught up by the NFL coaches. So let's go ahead and get into my running back 1, which I think you all know who it is, but let's go ahead and talk about him. Obviously, it's Bijan Robinson. I don't think anybody's really going to argue with that one. Look at his stats: 1,580 yards, 18 touchdowns, and 6 yards per carry. He's just a beast. He's obviously the best running back that we've seen in this draft since Saquon Barkley. He could go from all the way from pick 10 to pick 30. He could really go that high. I don't think he does. I think the earliest he goes is between like 15 in that 20 spot to like the Lions or something. But they brought in David Montgomery, so probably not the Lions. I don't know who's going to draft him. I think the Eagles could possibly draft him. I think the Saints, the Chargers could possibly draft him. So we'll see what happens. But let's talk about him, man. Let's talk about him. Great footwork. Amazing. I don't know how he does it, but he has amazing footwork to go ahead and get around guys who are like laying on the ground, who's on the floor. Vision, amazing as well, and then his physique. He's not like a 5'9" running back. If Bijan could do what he do at 5'9", are we talking about him the same way? Somewhat, but I don't think we're talking about him as this insane, possibly generational talent at the running back position. I don't think we're saying that. So I think that definitely comes into play. And then, does he really have a weakness? I don't know. I don't think so. I said long speed, but he ran like a 4.4 something in the combine. So I'm kind of here like, there's no really weakness, but I feel like I have to put something down. But I feel like I don't. I don't know. We all know how good Bijan Robinson is, and I'll be so interested to see where he goes. But I just pray that he doesn't go to the Eagles, because holy crap, that wouldn't be fair. Him in the Eagles uniform, it wouldn't be fair. And I'm scared. But again, we'll see where he goes. Honestly, if I had to pick a team, I'd probably say the Chargers. The whole Austin Eckler situation. But again, we'll see where he goes, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video ranking my top 5 running backs in this year's draft class. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Go ahead and put that down in the comments, and I post weekly videos just like this. I'll hopefully be able to get to all the other positions by the time that drafts come. So which one do you want to see next? And I post daily shorts on this channel, so if you want to go ahead and watch that, I kind of do draft profiles, quick like 20-second draft profiles of players. NFL news will be on that as well, and then always chop it up with me in the community post, because I do post that at least once a day. And go ahead and follow me on Twitter and TikTok. I will have that down in the description, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.